Welcome to this week's Talking Codswallop. I am Gemma.
I'm James.
What? Who the hell are you?
Yeah, exactly. I'm the original James. I'm not this pretender that seems to have latched onto the podcast.
Yeah, I know. Well, he's been on the show more than you just lately. So
That's very true. And the thing is, by me being on less, it makes it more of a treat when I am on the podcast.
Well, yeah. Yeah, or more of a chore to try and get you on, but let's beg to differ on that one, eh?
Very true.
Oh, there you go. See, he just put a little cough in just so that everyone knows that he's been poorly. No,
it's not like I'm purposely coughing. I'm trying my best to mute.
Yeah,
the salty tadpoles will understand that. They will recognise the harshness that Gemma doles out upon me.
No,
like hot soup.
It's strange that you're the only one who thinks that I'm harsh.
It's the fact that I'm the only one who's got the guts to voice it. The others are so petrified.
I see. Yeah, I can really put Andy in a bracket of petrified.
Yeah. He is. He's petrified, terrified beyond the rational thought.
So, anyway, how have you been? Obviously, because you've not been here for a while. So
I've been busy with various things that are going on, family things and sort of things with that. But I've also been unwell. We won't make it too much of a health thing, but I thought I got over a chest infection, which wasn't clearing, which I'd had for about a month. And then I felt slightly better, and then they did say if it doesn't clear within the allotted time, come back to us. So I was fortunate enough to get to the doctors who basically went, well, I'm not entirely convinced this is still a chest infection. We think it could be, I have asthma and other lung stuff. And they said, we believe it could be something in relation to that. So they put him on a course of other medication. So hopefully that will resolve it, because I'm still wheezing, coughing and all the fun stuff.
Yeah, no, that doesn't sound very nice at all. And I think it's always a bit frightening when the doctor doesn't really know what it is as well, isn't it? It's like, oh, God, so you don't know what it is, so how am I supposed to deal with this?
Or as in my case, I just think, well, that's probably part of the course, so...
Yeah. Here comes old man Stafford. Yeah. What ailment has he got today?
Yeah, what ailment is phasing in this time?
Yeah.
But no, it will be what it will be. I'm not overly freaked out by it or anything.
That's good.
It will resolve in some manner or other.
Yes.
But how are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. I've also had my own bouts of illness. I've had, it seems like I had a really heavy cold on top of long COVID, and it's been really sucky. But I think it's all right. Who knows? Might have to do a COVID test just to double check that I haven't got the evil COVID again. But we'll see. We'll report back on that one at some point. But yeah, I mean, otherwise I've been all right. I've kind of just been plodding along, really. Keeping myself sane by going out and taking the dog out for walks and I'm not overly active, but and watching an awful lot of Walking Dead. So yeah, which I'm still on, but I'm on series 10 now, so I'm letting towards the end. But I have got a Codswallop about that program as well, so we'll get into that in a minute.
I do recognise your comment about checking with the long COVID, because when the first whatever this is started with me, I was feeling so horrendous. I thought I'll just check. Well, I came through all clear.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't think it was long COVID, but it's, again, you can see, part of the problem, and we won't turn this too much into a conversation on long COVID, but part of the problem, you're finding and I'm finding, is that we still get kind of like hangovers from it. So things that would not have originally been a problem, and I always go with the example of if I do something incredibly intensive, I can still do it. It's not a problem. Yeah. But I will be hit by something like, I'll feel it for a bit longer than I used to do previously. So my bounce back, I still bounce back. There's no problems there, but it's not as imminent as it used to be.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And to be honest, I think it's important because we did talk about at one point doing a long COVID episode, didn't we? And it's not going to be this week because we haven't put enough effort into it or whatever. But I think it is important because I think that it's still a lot of people out there that think, oh God, yeah, here we go again, kind of thing. You say long COVID, but what does that really mean? Basically, if you've ever had COVID, then it's in my case, especially at the moment, because I'm a couple of years behind you on yours, aren't I? I've had mine for 3. I think you've had yours for about 5, haven't you?
Something like that. I mean, it's remembering when is a tricky thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, also that is another thing as well because it hurts your memory. You can't, you get awful brain fog, which sometimes I'm chattering away and then I go, I have no idea what I was going with this. That's also a common occurrence in my life as well. So it might be a mixture of the two. But for me, it's the exhaustion. It's like if I take, like I said earlier, if I take the dog out for a walk, it's like a half-hour walk. I'm then asleep for 3 hours,
Wow, yeah.
and it really knocks it out of me quite badly. So, yeah, it's not fun. It's basically like having all of the symptoms of COVID for anybody who's had COVID out there, but on a daily basis.
And I think the problem is it hits everybody slightly differently. So there's no absolutely uniform, way of describing or looking at it. Yeah. It's a weird one. And again, the medical profession doesn't entirely understand it.
No.
So, but on the positive, we're still both here. We're here to tell the tale.
We are. Yeah, there's been some days I go, really, do I need to be here? But no, I am joking with those comments because I made a comment with James yesterday or the day before. I said, do you think it'd just be easier if both of us got shot? James said no, so I guess we're still here.
Yeah, we'd have to find some poor bugger who'd be willing to shoot us as well.
Yeah, I'm sure we can find someone. It'll be fine. Maybe James, the other James, because he's trying to take over the podcast. Maybe that's what's going on.
That's true. That's true.
And he's an ex-copper as well, so he could say that he was doing it for the protection of something.
And he seems to know, as we learnt when I was podcasting with him on Celluloid Codswallop discussing Hot Fuzz, he does seem to know his guns. He
does, doesn't he? That was a little bit concerning. I was like, you know an awful lot about this sort of machinery. Yeah,
he does. Well,
is it technically machinery? I don't know. But, no, you did. You both did a very good job with that episode. You both sounded like you had an awful lot of fun.
It did. I mean, yes, it was fun. I mean, that shows what a good actor I am. No, it was good fun.
Although, actually, that's my second Codswallop, and I'm going to bring it up now. I was due to be on that episode, but unfortunately, James Stafford decided that he wanted to change the time because he's ill, in inverted commas, and I think it was just the fact that he didn't want me on the episode. So I was supposed to
if
be
it was
on
to
that
say
one.
I didn't want you about, it would be very strange to have somebody come on this episode, wouldn't it?
But is that a ruse to kind of, put me
keep
off
on
the
your
fact
toes.
that, so that I don't think that that's the case because now he's recording with me, so it's all good. But secretly, he knows it's his baby and that I might accidentally take over if I'm on the episode, which is likely I might have. So, but no, you both did a very good job. Yes, I was going to bring my little tidbits or whatever they're called. Tidbits? Is that the right word?
Pass.
That I've actually been to, because it was filmed in Wells, as in Wells in Somerset. And I've actually been to that town, and it actually feels like you're walking around the movie. It's really insane. But yeah, my friend got married there, so because she was a massive fan of Hot Fuzz, so they decided to get married there. And
that's a level of dedication. That is a real level of dedication I've never heard of before for that film. So
yeah,
I'm impressed. And it's always weird though when you walk around the filming location. It's the strangest thing.
Yeah, I
had that when we went to Shrewsbury to look at where they'd filmed A Christmas Carol, because you're wait a minute, this is. It's weird enough when you're actually on a set when things are being filmed, but when you go to the that kind of thing, and you just stepped out of it to look at it as a person visiting it rather than working on it. It's strange.
Yeah, it is strange. It is very odd, but also it was kind of comforting in some ways as well, because it was like, oh, I feel like I've stepped into my TV. But so I mean, I would have had amazing extras to add,
But you're adding them now. That's all that matters. I mean, all we can say is for the tadpoles is sense the bitterness. It's seeping through the airwaves.
No, absolutely not. But I was trying to think of. There was another one as well, but I can't think of it at the moment.
Do you mean that it annoyed you, or a fact? I mean, we got the stuff about Lurch on. That was a fact you gave us.
You did.
People have been like graffitiing on a side.
Yeah, because the village is Sanford, which is actually in Dorset. They did write Yarp on both. It was like welcome to Sanford signs, and there's two of them, and they kept putting like this little graffiti type right. Well, it was just normal writing, really, to be honest. Kept putting Yarp on it, and it's like every other day you'd come back, you'd see the sign, and it was like being painted over, and it's like, oh, can't you just leave it? It's like a fun nod, but no, the council, village council, whatever I'm not really sure, because it's kind of like, it's like a tiny little inlet, do you know what I mean? As you drive through sort of thing, so it's not massive, it's not a massive area. But I suppose it'll be a village. It's definitely not a town.
Yeah, some sort of parish council kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So, they're going, oh no, we can't have reference to something fun. Let's paint over it.
I see your point, but I can also see from their side that they probably don't want people constantly painting up the signpost.
Going, yarp. No, but anyway, it was a very, very good episode, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So, yes. Thumbs up to you both, and also congratulations for only making it an hour and 33 minutes.
Well, I had to rein James in. It was tough.
I know.
Tough.
I heard on the episode.
He will learn.
He will. So should we jump into Codswallop or?
Yes, no, please, because I'm intrigued. Because you said you've got Codswallop.
I have. It's about The Walking Dead, like I said. So, and ever since I've kind of noticed this, I can't look past it now. So, it must have been about series 4 or 5. And I'm sort of just, I'm just sort of like watching it, and, obviously there's a lot going on and whatnot. But then all of a sudden I go, my God, their teeth are so white. It's like, how are their white teeth so white? And like throughout the entire series, or series as it is, their teeth are all white. Even like the really sort of, people that are kind of living underground or whatever, even their teeth are white. And I'm like, how is it that the Americans have managed to keep their teeth so white in an apocalypse?
All I can say is welcome to America.
Yeah, I know. But it's like, it's one of those things. It's like, oh my God. It's like, but yeah, you imagine if it was in Britain, like all of our teeth would have fallen out, if it was filmed over here.
It's quite possible. And it's always the fact that you do see it on kind of any production when it's, even when you look at, say, things set in, say, Tudor times, you think, well, everyone seems to have perfect teeth and looks really good. And not probably the disgusting kind of, certainly the people who were in, say, peasant villages.
Yeah.
They seem to look a bit too good, don't they?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's what I mean. It's like, what? No, you need to sort of dirty them up a bit or something like that. But no, obviously it's It's just, since I've seen it though, it's like one of those things. It's like a car accident or whatever. Not that you should look at car accidents, but you can't look away, can you? So it's like, oh, now all I'm doing is focusing on their bloody mouths, and it's doing me head in.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. So you haven't had Codswallop for a few weeks because obviously you've not been on the episode. So you must have some Codswallop by now.
Nothing major. The only thing I can really think of is that we've had these awful periods of just incredible downpour where everything's getting flooded and horrible. Those are the major gripes I've had at the moment.
Yeah, we got beautiful sunshine down here.
We're okay at them. Well, yes, but you are where you are.
Yeah.
But certainly when you're getting kind of more coastal, it always does get nicer. But it's been the most bizarre weather because we had a period last Wednesday where it just rained all day. And I mean, I don't mean just like slight rain. I mean, it rained. And there were areas around where I live that were flooding. Not just slightly flooding. I mean, full on horrible houses getting flooded. Stuff having to be pumped out.
Well, that reminds me about a story that I saw in the news that apparently, I didn't actually fully read the story, but apparently in Buckinghamshire, which is like one of the longest names in the world, there was a crocodile or an alligator, one of the two, that was found in one of the puddles, but it was their head. So I don't know if it was maybe just put there. I didn't full on read the story, but let's make it up, right? It was a real one. It managed to come over from, I don't know, wherever they live, Florida.
So it's come up. So we've got probably an alligator that's come all the way from Florida to rest upon itself in a little puddle, in Buckinghamshire.
Yeah.
This is very unique. This is almost as good as my friend Dean, who, in dealing with a leak outside the business he runs that was flooding the road horrendously in Yorkshire Water, basically like, we're not interested. He got a response by putting ducks, getting loads and loads of ducks, that you put in a bath, and filling the hole with them. And strangely, when the BBC showed an interest and the paper, they fixed the leak. Yeah.
Well, that was good thinking. Is that your master, Dean, or is that a different Dean?
Oh, Dean has so many hats. Massage. He does signing. He creates signs and artwork. He's a chef. You name it, this man has a hat for it.
Oh.
But the problem he had is that with Yorkshire Water, yes, he could have probably ended up with an alligator, but this leak had been creating so much of a problem that it was causing the floor in the studio that he does the massaging to rise.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's kind of funny a little bit, but that is awful though, isn't it? Because yeah. I mean, I technically don't pay council tax, but why do people pay council tax if they're not going to actually do stuff when it's broken?
Well, council tax has nothing to do with your water.
Oh, okay, so, water tax then.
Yeah,
or whatever.
that would. We don't pay water tax. You pay a water bill. Sorry, Gemma, I'm going to have to take you to task. But council tax wouldn't deal with the water. But whoever the person providing you with water is, you are obviously paying them to do with the supply of water, the runoff and removal of like wastewater. Yeah. But you've hit the nail on the head. What are you paying them for? Because their answer was basically, well, it's not seen as a major problem, and this has been going on for years, where it's just been bubbling along.
Oh no!
Like coming up out of the water.
Yeah, and I'm always happy for you to correct me, James, especially with stuff I don't know the answers to.
That's okay. I'll do my best to help.
Well, it does help. So, because I'm sat here waffling on, and then you're going, no, that's wrong.
I mean, I could have left you to dig the hole deeper and see whether the tadpoles stepped in.
Nah, they don't interact with us. I'm calling their bluff out this week. Sometimes it's whether James listens to the podcast. This week is whether the tadpoles actually listen and think, Gemma's got everything wrong.
And the chances are more likely that you get salty tadpole interaction than me listening to the podcast.
I know. It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy. So
this alligator or crocodile head was visible. Interesting.
Yeah, it was. So it was like in this puddle. And I think it was like a fairly deep puddle, but not, not massive. Do you know what? Let's see if I can find the story. Hold on. We haven't had a story of the week for a while. Oh, there we go. It was first open straight away. Typical Britain, isn't it? First you've got terrible weather, then you've got a roadside flooding, and after all that, there's a crocodile in a puddle. Residents in a town in Buckinghamshire must have been rolling their eyes when they saw the reptile poking its nostrils above the water surface. But, as the Thames Valley Police discovered when they responded to reports, a crocodile's head sticking out of a puddle isn't always a crocodile's head sticking out of a puddle. Oh. When officers arrived on the scene on May 2nd, they soon realised there was no body attached. It's a bit like maybe that's the headless thing to the headless sex doll that we've covered before.
It would definitely be man, that'd be a scary sex doll.
yeah, with a crocodile's head.
But hey, horses for courses. No kink shaming.
No, exactly. They soon realised there was no body attached, and the weirdly realistic head was made of plastic. There we go. So it was plastic. So we've ruined the mystery of it all now. I'm not going to carry on with the story because it is from the Metro, and we all know that there'll be some sort of thing that will be bulking it out. But the gist of it is, it was a crocodile, but it wasn't a crocodile. So count yourself lucky, James, anyway.
Yes.
That all you've been dealing with is flooding and puddles, and you haven't been dealing with a crocodile head, Very true. I can agree with that. Yeah, I would not be too impressed if I found a weird crocodile head. No, but I do like the idea of the rubber duckies. That is actually really clever. So yeah, I like it a lot. So I've also had a couple of On the Road Again with Gemma and James and Andy and James.
Not bad. You managed to cram everybody in, so.
But it's really On the Road Again with Gemma. Full stop.
Yeah, did it? I was going to say, unless you like cramming it all in the car.
Yeah. Although there's only 4 of us, we can fit 4 people in a car, so I think it'll be all right. Might be a bit of a tight squidge, but it's all good. So, right, the first thing that I saw was, you remember Elmo from Sesame Street?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, little red puppet.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Hi, I love you, or things like that. I can't remember its exact voice or what it said, but anyway, we all know its face. So there was a biker who was riding his bike, and his helmet was Elmo. So where basically the mouth of Elmo was where his visor was.
That's kind of creepy.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? But the problem is that although it's kind of clever and funny, it's also potential for an accident, isn't it? Because it's like, you just look at it going, what the hell have I just seen? Walking past, or driving past, sorry. But yeah, it's like, but got to give him props for the fact that it was a little bit creative, so that was good. So that was a weird thing that I saw. Now this thing, I think you're going to find really shocking. Okay, so I'm going to give you a story. So I pull up to a junction, and it's one of those. So basically, all of the roads are one way. So there's one in the middle, and then you've got one sort of coming down towards me, and then the road that I was on. But they're all one way, like I said. And so I was parked at the junction because there was something coming in the middle, sort of thing. And I watched as these 2 able-bodied people were watching as a blind person with a stick, was attempting to cross a road where a car was coming. And it baffled me and shocked me, the fact that, because I was quite far away from it, so I would have actually got out and done something. But it's the fact that these 2 people that were fully able and could see and whatnot didn't think to stop the blind person from crossing the road when a car was coming.
As I said, they didn't help them.
No, not at all. No. I mean, at the last minute, like, the car sort of screeched up to him, sort of thing. So it was, it was really, could have been quite nasty, but luckily, screeched up. The car wasn't going that fast anyway. But, it was the fact that the people didn't even think to say, oh, sorry, excuse me, there's a car coming, or something like that, just to give the person a little indication that they're about to get killed. And I was like, I was horrified at the fact that it was like a lady and a man. And, they were probably their 40s, 50s at the very eldest. So, they're of that age where, you should be giving a shit about people rather than, But, God.
But that's
it was
not good, is it, at all?
No, it's horrendous. Yeah, it just absolutely just shocked me. And I was thinking, how is it that we can allow this kind of thing to happen? Do you know what I mean?
Society's screwed.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, there are still good people out there, and I'm not saying these two people aren't good, but, at the same time, they do need to, react to things when full
yes,
well.
you would hope they would step in and do something.
Yeah, because it wasn't like it wasn't obvious that the person was blind. Like, they had the white stick with the ball on the end. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah, so there's some kind of visual issue there.
yes, yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I was a bit horrified by that. So those are my two on the road against, James.
Ah, definitely unique.
Yeah, no, definitely. But no, I was like, oh my God, and I was thinking, how can I stop this? But I can't, when you're in your car, you can't stop it, can you? It's like, especially when the people were right next to him. So they definitely could have, but anyway, I guess, I can't judge people.
Can't control everything, Gemma.
No, and I also can't judge people on the level of superiority.
Are you giving it a good try?
I am going to try and say the word. It's about superiority that I have for myself. So,
Correct.
yeah, I was like, I was absolutely baffled. So, yeah, so that's my news. Over to you. fill in
I
the
haven't
gap.
really got much in the way of news to tell you, I'm afraid. I haven't got any on the road again, although I did see the baffling sight of a cyclist. I mean, it's kind of brave and also crazy.
Yeah.
That they were smart. They basically were cycling with no helmet, with loads of cars zooming around them.
Oh,
That's a brave or foolhardy person.
yeah, absolutely. That's just triggered my brain that there was another story as well. I didn't actually, again, I didn't read this one, I just glanced at things, or there was a post actually that they put up on Facebook, which was basically, it was a tractor. So a cyclist but behind the cyclist was a tractor. Mm-hmm. It was like the cyclist didn't want to pull over to let the tractor go past. So, it's like the farmer's going, I could take you out with like a second of life. And, one of me wheels can like flatten you. But it was
it's a very valid point though, isn't it? Because the sheer size and weight of a tractor,
yeah,
it's not going to be that difficult for a cyclist, on a small bike by comparison, to just move over just for a few minutes to allow a tractor pass for safety.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just people just need a bit of common courtesy and a bit of sense, really, don't they?
Not happening.
No, exactly. And another horrifying thing that I found out this week as well, James, which actually yourself and James informed me of, was that seagulls eat pigeons, apparently.
Well, he knows more on that. What I saw eating a pigeon was a pelican in London Zoo.
Yeah, that baffled me as well, because I was like, we don't get pelicans in this country, but apparently we do.
It's a bit like the situation of having parrots. They just kind of like escape from people who've had them in private collections or zoos, and yeah, that's what happened.
But go on, tell us the story of how you, what you saw.
Oh, it's many, many years ago, but basically a pelican had a pigeon in its mouth, and it opened its mouth, and you saw these two very tired wing flaps, and then the mouth just slapped shut.
Ooh.
The beak just slapped shut again.
And that was a local attraction in London, apparently, wasn't it?
Well, there were lots of little kids seeing this happen.
Oh.
You could, it's a long time ago. If I remember, you could kind of see it scrabbling around in the mouth of the neck bit, but obviously it's trying to choke it out, to to deprive it of any oxygen so it can consume it.
Yeah, no, that's insane. But no, James Jr. said that, because you're James Sr., by the way. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Yes.
Yeah. So James Jr. said that his wife had, or they were in a city somewhere. So like there's a Seagulls. And yeah, anyway, so there was a seagull that swooped to try and eat his wife's either chips or sandwich or something like that, and then she managed to swat it away, just like a fly, swatted away. But yeah, and it was, and then it just decided to head off and eat a pigeon. And when James and James are informing me of this, I'm going, am I actually being gullible? Get the pun, everybody.
Oh,
yeah, I know.
That's painful.
I know. We haven't had the pun for a while. Or, and then James Jr. sent me a video of it, and I was like, oh my God, there's a pigeon being eaten by a seagull.
Yep, I can believe it.
No.
I can believe it.
No. So, yeah, that's a bit extreme. So, yeah, city girls are a little bit more hardcore than us.
Definitely.
Skanky old seagulls down here. Although I wouldn't put it past them. They'd probably try and eat a human if they could. But, yeah. So.
Well, it's always fun when you see them literally ripping food out of people's hands.
Oh, well, it's not that funny, James, actually, when you're the other side of the story,
Well, it's just something I once observed from a distance.
Yeah. Were you the person that was walking away when they dropped it on the top of your head? Do you remember my seagull story?
Vaguely.
Okay. Well, I will tell it, but only because James's vague knowledge of it, and also we need to fill in a few minutes because we are running short of information to talk about on this episode. But it is also a bit like James's uncle's haunted house story. That is.
I was going to say you take a shot at me of the haunted house story.
I know. But the thing is,
and yet you're repeating this story. But go on.
Yeah, but the thing is, I remember that story. You don't remember this story. So I have to fill you in, and then there might be new listeners that don't know the story at all.
That's true.
So, picture the scene, everybody. Me and my friend, actually, funny enough, the one who got married at the place where, Hot Fuzz was filmed. So that friend, we were sat in a place called Lyme Regis, and it was a beautiful sunny day. And we were overlooking the sea, the waves were crashing, the story's getting even more dramatic. And I feel a bit peckish. So on the route, I'd picked up this gorgeous tuna and sweet corn roll. It was lovely, James. So I peeled open the wrapper. You could smell it. It was beautiful. It was so fresh, so perfect, so wonderful. So I take
really selling this sandwich.
I am selling the sandwich. So I take a bite out of it, and it's a roll. I can't remember if I said that or not, but it's a roll.
You did.
Yeah. As I then take it away from my mouth, the seagull flies between both me and my friend's heads without even us realising, and we were sat quite close to each other, so neither of us really knew what was going on. And the seagull snatched the roll out of my hand and flew off with it. And I was like, no! And I was just left with like the brown bag that that it was being held in, and also the plastic wrapper. So I was just like held with these like two items, and my roll had completely gone. And I was like, no! My friend is of course killing herself laughing because that's what friends do. And yeah, and seeing all the commotion, there was a guy a bit further down the beach who sort of saw what was going on and whatnot. So they decided to sort of get up and walk away from all of the commotion that's happening and whatnot. And then
I think I'd walk away, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, then the seagull decided to proceed to drop the bread roll on top of the guy's head.
Oh, shocking.
Yeah. So it was like a double whammy. And I was like, oh, such a nice roll. I can taste it now, James. I can taste it.
I was going to say, it'll only take you about another 10 to 20 years to get over it.
I think that's a traumatized moment. You know, I shut my eyes at night and I think of it. It's like PTSD.
You hear the seagull.
I got PTSD about it. You know, pretend seagull devastation. That's what PTSD. Oh
it's
no!
when one sits on your window on your windowsill, looking at you, tapping on the glass.
Exactly. So yeah, that's my seagull story. So if anybody has not heard it, there was a slight advancement on that story because I did put a little bit more scenery into the viewpoint. So I hope everyone can picture that well. So yeah.
There may be some embellishment, is what she's suggesting.
Artistic license, actually, James.
Yes.
Artistic license. So have you been watching anything fun lately?
Do you know, I can't really think of anything I've really kind of tuned into.
Should we just wrap up the episode and it be a short one this week?
Why not? I honestly can't think of anything I've really kind of tuned into a watch with great gusto of late, actually.
No, me neither. I'm just focusing on The Walking Dead at the moment, so...
The Walking Dead with their perfect teeth.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, but at least it gave me Codswallop this week, so that's good.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
All right, guys. Well, this week is a very short episode because there was a bit of a gap that we have to remove. But, that's fine.
It's still there. It's something you can listen to. It's Codswallop Light.
Yes. Yes, Codswallop adjacent. So shit adjacent, which would make it urine. I don't know. I've lost my marbles. It's a bit hot today, guys.
You've gone off on a tangent here.
Yeah, it's a bit on the hot side today. I'm feeling rather warm, so I had to write down all of my on the roads again and my Codswallop just so that I'd remember it because now I just want to jump in the shower or at least open a window. So.
Or both.
Or both, yes. I might do that. So, James, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you again.
As always.
Hope to do it again soon rather than later.
Certainly.
Yep. And I think that we've been talking enough Codswallop this week. I have been Gemma.
I have been James.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.